Hi folks, it's Rich here. If you don't know me, I'm just a novice guitarist who's had lots of guitars. This is guitar number 86. Just enjoy them really. Now this is a review that nobody wants because who hasn't seen a Classic Vibe Strat review before? So this is yeah, I'm gonna sort of a bit of a review and just some thoughts on it from someone who is still a novice really, but has had lots of guitars and therefore lots to compare them to, and whether or not this is perhaps a good guitar if you're a beginner, or if it's not, and just a few of the quick pros and cons. So this is the 50s style one. There is a 60s and a 70s as well. They've all got the same pickups. It's just the styling of them that's different. I think I got quite lucky with this one. You see there's a little bit of sort of flaming in the headstock, which is really nice, and the back of the neck is also really nice. The fingerboard, the camera will pick that up very well, I don't know, but there's quite a nice grain in that, which that's just a look at the draw. I saw one on eBay some time ago, which I wish I'd have bought as one of these, and it had sort of flame all the way through the neck. It was lovely. But yeah, so it's got the old style tuners on them. Some people really love these, don't they? Because you poke your string down the hole. Now, if you're a beginner and you're restringing for the first time, yeah, I find these a bit more fiddly actually. I know you can take strings back out if you want to, but they're a bit more fiddly for me. But yeah. Anyway, single string tree, which is a bit weird actually, because on the Classic Vibe Telecasters you get a nice little round string tree, and I can't think actually on all the Strats, because it's my first Classic Vibe Strat, even though I've had lots of Strats. I'm not sure whether that's right or that should be a round one on there. But yeah, it's not great, but it's not an expensive upgrade. They're supposed to have a bow nut on these as well. Not sure whether that really is, but it's cut pretty well. The high E string, it's not cut perfectly, but overall, you know, it's nice. I think the thing that's most surprising, the body. Now it's made of pine, but unless someone out there who's cleverer than me can spot this, it looks like it's one piece. I just can't see where the join would be, because usually on these, you know, more affordable guitars, they're two piece or sometimes even three, but this one looks like it's a one piece. So that's a bit of a bonus. Not that it really matters. And you've got all the aged white plastic knobs on them and the 6-point trem. This one is usable. You can see, you can't really. It's not hard-tailed, but and it is usable, but it's fairly firm. And the action out of the box is a little bit on the high side, to be honest. It's not a perfect factory setup. So a couple of things then, if you're a beginner, oh excuse me, or maybe you've got a bullet or something and you want to upgrade and go to the next sort of Fendery level, is this a good one to go to, and what are the things that you might want to know about it? Well, the first thing to say is, having played this up against a contemporary Strat, the new one, earlier today, the neck on these is sort of true to some of the other Fenders and Squiers in that it's a C shape, but it's quite easy to get your hand around. This neck is quite small. It's 42mm at the nut, so it's quite easy to play, finger over the top, easy to play, which I liked. The contemporary, which I tried earlier, which is a 12-inch radius fretboard, these are 9.5, so the curvature, but actually the neck is really chunky on those. So this is not, I wouldn't say it's a skinny neck, but it's certainly not chunky, so that's nice. The frets are really good, fret ends are really good as well, so not sharp. On a bullet or some of the affinities, you can get sharp fret ends, which can put you off a bit. I'll need a bit of work. So that's nice. The big thing, of course, with Classic Vibes is the gloss finish on the neck. It's glossy on the back and it's glossy on the front, which is supposed to sort of try and mimic how guitars were back in smoky clubs, that over a period of time they got sort of tobacco stained. So some people won't like the stickiness on this. Now, I have to say, despite the fact, oh, that's interesting actually. This is made in China. The Indonesian Classic Vibe Telecaster I had recently, the gloss on that was a lot thicker than this. It was super sticky. On this, it just feels nice. If you get a player, Fender player Strat these days, the fingerboard itself has got a slight gloss to it, although the back hasn't. And the gloss fingerboard on this doesn't feel more, if any, glossier than a player Strat on the front. Like I say, that Indonesian Telecaster I had, which you can see on another review, that was mega glossy. So this actually feels nice, and it's got a bit of a feel of luxury to it. Because some of the other Fenders, some of the little bit older ones you get, that some of the deluxe ones and so on, will have a glossy back to them anyway. So this just feels like a sort of a bit more of a luxury guitar, I suppose, rather than a thick, sticky, glossy, horrible one. So some people might like that, some people might not. But I say, if you're kind of starting out, this neck feels lovely and it's easy to play. The tuners, these aren't my bag, but a lot of people like them, and they're perfectly good enough. I'll go through a few tones in a minute, even though everyone's heard them a million times before, but this does sound exactly how a Stratocaster should sound. I really like it, which is why I wanted it, really. I miss having a Strat. The belly cut's quite a deep cut on this as well, which is good because I've got a big belly right now. So let's just plug this in. Jangle, jangle, jangle. Neck pickup. The strings need bedding in a little bit. And if you've seen any of my other videos as well, you'll know that I'm a bit of a stickler for the tone knob. How useful is it? Well, this is it all the way off. Here's about number 3. Number 7. And up to the top. So it does work, it does graduate. The amplifier is just totally clean, nothing on it at all. And the sustain on that, it's not too bad, is it? Bolt-on neck, pine body. Neck in the middle. Another thing I like about this, and yeah, any sort of decent Strats, there should be a decent amount of difference in between the different pickups and how they sound. Some of the cheap ones, like Harley Benton ST20s, for example, all the pickups sound almost the same. They're terrible. But not so on here. They all have their own voice. Bridge and the middle. And the neck. Right, let's put just a bit of crunch on. We'll go back to the start on that. Nice thing, as this is a 50s one as well, the pickups aren't overly loud. They're on ecos, but they're not wound up to be too overbearing and powerful, which I also like. And volume difference, so that's on the neck. I appreciate you can higher and lower the pickups so that you can get more or less volume out of them. But just to give you a quick comparison, so neck, bridge. So I think that's quite well balanced. It obviously is louder and it should be, but yeah, it's not massive. It's not like it's completely out of balance and unworkable. So yeah, quite spanky on the bridge, but I think importantly, all of the pickups do sound. Ooh, enough of that on super overdrive. Yeah, importantly, the pickups all do have their own voice. So, like I say, it's loads of reviews on these, but just for me, the quick takeaways, especially if you're sort of beginner or you're just looking to get your next guitar up, having had Bullets, Affinities, and other Strats from other brands, including Fenders, actually. First impression on this is it is very good. I know most people tend to say that the Classic Vibe Telecasters are a better guitar than the Classic Vibe Stratocasters, and I'm not too sure why that is actually, because I've had 5 Classic Vibe Tellies now, and they haven't all been good. Okay, this is my first Classic Vibe Strat, but it's got all the right Strat tones. The neck feels nice. It's not excessively glossy. I say it's made in China. Don't know if that's just a difference between the Chinese made ones and the Indonesian ones, but the neck feels nice, and it does feel like a proper nice guitar, quality guitar. It's been a while since I had a Fender Mexican, but yeah, I really like this. So £323 this was, so you can get them for that kind of money. I think it's well worth paying that over an Affinity. Now the Affinities are about being re-released shortly. They're replacing the standards. So on the Strats they're going to have a 2-point trem, so it's a bit more modern. They've changed the logo on the top as well, but so they're going to be £220 when they come out. So you've got roughly £100 difference, and I would still say that this has got to be worth that little bit extra. And if you're into the sort of the vintage vibe, hence it's called Classic Vibe, I don't think you can go wrong really with this colour. It's nice. Proof in the pudding will be with the vibrato arm, how well it stays in tune, but if you see other reviews, no one really has a big whinge about them going out of tune particularly, so hopefully that'll be okay. Yeah, so that's just a quick rundown. Say it's guitar number 86, so I've had a few, and I've had at least 20 Strats, so I've had lots of them to compare to, and this one I think is a goodie, and definitely better than their reputation, I think. Not that everyone slates them, but yeah, they're just as deserving as the Classic Vibe Tellies, in my opinion. So yeah, there we go. Anyway, thanks for watching. Any comments, please put them below, and I'll see you on the next video.